President Trump is calling out Qatar, saying it must stop financing terrorism. His comments at a joint news conference yesterday coming after several Arab countries, including Saudi Arabia and Egypt, cut off diplomatic ties with the small Persian Gulf country over its financial support for terrorists. Ambassador Robert Jordan is the former U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia, diplomat in residence at Southern Methodist University, and author of the book Desert Diplomat. Sir, good of you to join us. And Mr. Ambassador, I would start off with, are you shocked by this news about Qatar?
Not really. This has been
Why?
coming for a long time. It's like a slow-moving train wreck. The Saudis and the Emiratis have had a continuing struggle with Qatar for many years. A lot of it is petty jealousies. A lot of it is disrespect. Al Jazeera, for example, the TV and news network in Qatar, has been very critical of the Saudi royal family for many years. Back during the time I was ambassador, the Saudis pulled their embassy from Doha because of an article about King Abdulaziz, the founder of Saudi Arabia. They've broken off diplomatic relations in the past, but this is big. This is the most serious rupture, I think, certainly in generations. It's creating widespread panic within Doha. The grocery shelves are empty. There are very serious consequences here if this isn't dealt with.
Ambassador, how bad can it get in terms of the relationship that the United States shares with those countries in the Middle East pertaining to Qatar and the fact that we have U.S. military operations conducted there?
It could be very serious. We have tremendous national interest in maintaining relations both with the Saudis and Emiratis on the one hand and the Qataris on the other. The Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is, I think, the largest air base in the Middle East. I've flown in there. It's a gigantic operation. So we can't simply walk away from that. We need a relationship with Qatar, but we also, I think, understand, just as President Trump indicated, that the time has come for Qatar to stop subsidizing Hamas, Hezbollah, the Muslim Brotherhood. And so this is a conversation that is long overdue.
It seems like, and quite plausible to assume that because of the fact that Qatar has supported Hamas and Hezbollah and the Muslim Brotherhood, that they're trying to play both sides of the fence. They're trying to make nice with the United States and also its Arab allies, and at the same time, fueling and funding terrorism.
That's exactly right. We've been saying this for years. They're playing a double game, and the time has come for them to decide whose side they're on.
So what should the United States do along with Saudi Arabia and those other Arab allies like Bahrain and UAE that have come against Qatar in terms of saying, stop it, let's move forward, let's band together, particularly when you look at President Trump here along with the King of Saudi Arabia, and then all of the other kings were there as well when he just visited there a couple of weeks ago, and one would have thought that the Middle East was getting itself together and becoming a solid ally in terms of developing some unity, but we can see from this that the Middle East is still very troubled.
It's still the Middle East, and I think that's something we've got to keep in mind. What I think we should do is avoid backing Qatar into a corner where the emir has to be humiliated in order to make concessions. I think a mediator like the emir of Kuwait, who is trying to mediate this situation, can be effective. It needs to be a Muslim-to-Muslim kind of interaction here. I don't think there's much the United States can do other than be supportive of some kind of resolution. But they're going to have to sort this out for themselves, and I think Qatar is going to have to make a choice here on whether they're going to continue to support Hamas and Hezbollah in the same way they have, or if they're going to play ball with their neighbors a little better.
And, sir, the fact that we have men and women there serving in our military for our interests, as well as protecting our allies there in the region, there's got to be a way to broker some sort of agreement that we can move forward and have Qatar stop its sinful ways, so to speak, repent, and come back to the table.
I think that's right, but it's got to be done in a way where they don't face the humiliation of a generation. And there's also some instability within the Qatar royal family itself. There are recent reports that an opposition group of the royal family is developing an opposition party in London. So this is something we need to watch as well. It could be very destabilizing if the emir doesn't catch on to what he's going to need to be doing here.
Ambassador Robert Jordan, good of you to join us today, sir. And again, the name
Thank
of your
you.
book is Desert Diplomat, and my best to those at Southern Methodist University where you now serve.
Thank you.
All right, sir.